Hey everybody, I'm here to talk to you about number one Facebook ads program out there, and I'm not trying to sell you on stuff right now. I'm really just trying to let you know what that I hear you. I get that things are tough right now, and I know that it seems like maybe you missed the boat. There's so many people that I talk to. A lot of my students, when they come to me, they're lacking confidence with things, right? They're so unsure about like what things can look like, and I get that. Like, how am I supposed to succeed? Like, we're getting this blocking, iOS 14, Tim Cook and Zuckerberg, and all of this stuff, and you've been listening to people with a lot of advice. Thank you so much, Ruthie. You've been listening to people that have all this advice and all of that. And, I understand that things are hard, right? I know that it's not always easy to see that there's a path to success. And I know that it feels really unsure. So I wanted to really take some time to let you know that first off, you're not alone. Second, I've personally helped many, many people that felt exactly like you. And yes, you're unique. Yes, your problems are your own. And no, there is no universal solution to anybody's issues, which is one of the reasons why most of the other things that I see out there don't work for people. Because there isn't like turnkey, copy paste. All you have to do is this way of winning. That's just not how this works. Generally speaking, the way that you succeed is by figuring out how to use the system to your benefit. And there are a lot of different ways of doing that. So instead of trying to teach somebody or show them in some, 3-day class or some little ebook that they're probably not going to read or some course that they're not going to go through, this is really built around, let me give you my time. Let me give you hours of my week, every week, to literally hold your hand so that you can begin to see the confidence and success that you deserve. And the solution might look different for you than it does for the other students. And that's okay. That's why we have the one-on-one time. We also have group classes so that you can listen to other people, because an MBA program is not about you just sitting in isolation. And one of the hardest things for people is how alone you can feel when running Facebook ads. How alone being an entrepreneur can leave you because you don't know if what you're doing is right. Most people out there trying to give you help are really just trying to take your money. I can't tell you how many times I talk to folks that have spent hundreds or thousands of dollars listening to other people and trying a million different things, and they're chasing down the next great lookalike audience or bidding model or any of that stuff. And that's really not what this is about. This is about, I've helped work with the engineering team to design the way that Facebook works today. So let me show you how it works. Let me teach you how to fish. Let me get you more time in your day, because we're going to stop breaking things down in a way that is super stressful. If you stop making changes all of the time and you start planning and thinking bigger, you actually get more time to spend with your family, because you're letting the system do the work instead of you. And what happens when you let the system do the work? Well, hundreds and hundreds of engineers from around the world who are a lot smarter than maybe, well, at least I am. I don't know about you. But they've made it so that once you let the system do its job, you're actually going to see some of the best results. So spending more time with your family actually puts more money in your pocket. And the trick is learning how to set it up to do that for you. And it's not like a set and forget. Like, yeah, there does take work. But the work isn't in the day. It isn't in trying to dive in and guess and hopefully things work out for you. The work is setting it up so that you have super confidence that it is going to work out for you, and that you know what it is that you're doing. And when you do make mistakes, because look, I make mistakes every single day, that's okay. When you do have a bad day, it's not the end of the world. It's just a speed bump on your way to the success that you deserve. One of the things that we really try to talk about in the MBA program is not just how Facebook works, but also how to manage your time and how to document your work so that you don't make the same mistakes over and over again. So you're not solving the same problem that you solved today 3 months from now. you generally don't ever have to solve the same problems over again. If you've solved it, you don't have to solve it again. You know, I use this analogy a fair amount of times, and I'm in Massachusetts, so I'm going to go ahead and use that today. Usually I'm in Los Angeles, but I get to spend this time with my family, and this is great. So I'll use this analogy. You know, it snows a lot here. I see a lot of people going out in the snowfall and shoveling their driveway, metaphorically speaking. And the problem here is that if you're working all day, what you're doing is you're undermining the work you already did, and you're making the system start over again. We want the system to work on our behalf. Hey, look, there's a reason that it's the greatest platform ever designed to run ads on. There's a reason that millionaires are being made on a daily basis. There's a reason that there are billion-dollar industries built on the back of what this can do. And there's a reason that there is also, sadly, a million, maybe billion-dollar business around folks giving really bad advice to other people and taking advantage of them to try to maximize their own short profits. I'll give you this. The folks that I work with, whether it's Nissan or CBS or Levi's Jeans or Fandango or the local, barbershops or real estate agents or the people running small little direct consumer businesses or very big recording companies or maybe software as a service businesses that I've worked with, my relationships with them don't last a couple of weeks. It doesn't last a day where they buy something. They last for years. And the majority of the business I get comes from my students and my customers and my clients referring their friends. And so really the idea behind this MBA program, the Facebook Ads MBA program, which if you're interested, DM me. I am running a special on it for the people that sign up this week. There's a big discount for it, and we can talk about it in the DMs. And we can also do a payment plan. But what I'm getting at here is, for this, what I'm trying to do is take what I've instilled inside of big businesses, multi-million dollar businesses, Fortune 500 companies, billion-dollar international conglomerates. What I do for them, that also works for somebody trying to quit their day jobs. Somebody that wants a better career for themselves. Somebody building their own business. Somebody spending $500 a day, $3,000 a day. You don't have to be spending 30 grand, 50 grand, $1 million a day. Now, I've done that, but you learn a lot from doing all of that. And the honest truth is, I have probably spent more money making mistakes than a lot of the people that I see teaching have ever spent in their entire career. I've made more mistakes than most people will ever have the opportunity of even making attempts. Now, that's not always the best thing to do, and say like, hey, look, I'm making a lot of mistakes. But the point is, I've learned a lot over the last few years. I started doing this over 9 years ago. And for me, I was doing it because this is what finally gave me the independence to provide for myself. And I learned a lot along the way because honestly, I was a little bit smarter than the average bear, but I had no experience. I was fired from almost every job I ever had because while I was really smart, while I was making people a lot of money, I didn't even know how to send an email. I didn't know, I knew how to use email, but I didn't know the corporate structure. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. So what ended up happening was I ended up working for the smartest people in a whole bunch of rooms because they all saw me as like this really bright shining star because I had been doing case studies. I've been working with the engineering teams. I just kind of got lucky in my start. But what ends up happening is I didn't spend 10 years working for one person. I spent $10, $20 million working with half a dozen people. And that's 10, 20 million for every one of them. And what happens when you do that, plus you're starting off by literally going door to door trying to sell people on using you for $10 an hour, is that you learn both the organic thing coming up, and you also learn how elite businesses run stuff. And so what I've been able to do is combine those things in a way that allows folks, again, to have more time in their day and more money in their pocket with more confidence with what they're doing, while ultimately reducing the stress that they have on a day-to-day basis. And this comes on the back of really 3 core elements. Number 1 is, of course, understanding how Facebook works, because the honest truth is, for what it's worth, 80-90% of people that run Facebook ads were never taught actually how the platform works. They were taught how to hack it, and they were taught how to take things that work for email or for Google or other stuff to make it work. They were taught that, hard work is the path to success. And hey, look, there's nothing against hard work. I'm all for hard work. The problem is, when you work really hard and your success is dependent on your hard work, it means that in order for you to achieve more, you have to work harder. And it means that in order for you to stay successful, you have to continue to work that hard. The honest truth is, if your business is doing $100,000 and you want to get to $1 million, it's not going to happen because you work 10 times harder. Generally, it happens because you reduce the amount of work and you start to work smarter. So how do we bring that into the Facebook system? And so I go through all of this, how machine learning works, how you can set up your ad account to do that. The next big piece, one of the most fundamental pieces, is testing. The honest truth is, I actually wrote the book for Facebook on how to do testing for creatives, how to do testing for landing pages, how to do testing for ads, how to do testing for strategies. I literally wrote the book when CBO is in Facebook's testing mode, how to do testing for all of that. And I see a question here in the live, how to split test different project pages, just send traffic to 2 different pages. Now, Luca, you're right, you do want to send traffic to 2 different pages, but let me tell you how you do it. You don't build new ads for each page. You don't try to run different campaigns to go to different pages and then track the quality of that information. And here's why. The posts that you make, because remember, every ad, it has a post ID. Every ad is actually its own web page. Every web page, Facebook is tracking the click-through rate and the bounce rate and the stickiness of each one. So the ad that's been running longer is more than likely going to have a more stable result. Also, what happens after the click is not nearly as much as Facebook's responsibility as making sure that good people get that information. So if you have a mature ad that's been running for a long time, and then you try to test it against a new ad going to a new page, here's what's probably going to happen. It's going to do really well in the first couple of days because Facebook says, well, hey, look, we don't want to just steal your money. We want you to see success. So here's the best thing that you can get. Now, what'll happen is they're going to take from Peter to pay Paul. So while you're going to see great success in one place, it's really going to struggle someplace else. Then it's going to die off after 3 days, maybe a week. And then you're going to say, well, that wasn't worth it at all. And then you're going to throw it in the trash and try again. But you never actually let it leave the learning phase and allow Facebook's machine to really utilize it in the way that all the wins and losses have taught it to do. So really, when we're trying to test landing pages, it happens completely outside of Facebook. We can use free tools or very nice ones with analytics to say that when somebody clicks on this link, we're going to send a portion over here and we're going to keep the rest over there. That way, the Facebook ads that you're running can continue to run for months or years, even when you change your landing pages, even when you change your user experience. And yes, I said your ads can run for weeks or years. I have ads that I've quite literally spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on for businesses that I built in 2017, 2018, and they're still running. What you want is to build ads that run basically forever, in audiences that basically run forever. And like, what we really try to get into is, how do you set yourself up for that? That's part 1 and 2 of what we're really getting into in the Facebook Ads MBA program. And the third part is your documentation, which is so fundamental. I'll tell you, I didn't like documenting anything. I thought it was all up here. You know what the answer is? It is all up here. But if it's all up here, that means you can never take a vacation. If it's all up here, that means you can never hire somebody to work for you, which means the bigger you get, the more work and stress it is for you. If it's all up here, if you make a mistake, well, whose fault is it but yours? If it's all up here, you're going to have to remember every decision and the context of every choice that you've made since you started what you were doing. And the honest truth is, 1, that's extremely stressful. 2, it's completely impossible. And 3, when you get stressed out and you make mistakes there, it is going to cost you a lot of time and money. So we get through what this documentation looks like. And it's not just reporting. Although we do absolutely go through my Scrum Doc and Ecosystem ROAS, we absolutely go through how you can get all of your reporting done in 15, 20 minutes a day for free in a way that can let you manage a business, whether you're spending $1,000 a week or $50,000 a day. What I've personally used to manage well over $100 million in revenue. And it's free. And yes, Facebook's reporting is inaccurate. And no, that doesn't matter at all. And we get down into why that doesn't matter. You're going to get out of all of these metrics that are confusing. You're going to get out of having to chase down 10 different things because you're going to really understand, what is the one thing I need to really do? How do we solve this problem with simplicity? Solving problems by making things simpler is one of the key paths to success. Very, very, very few problems are solved at scale, meaning you can solve it once or twice, but can you solve it that way 1,000 times? Very few problems are solved at scale by making things more complicated. Very few things are solved at scale by making more work. Almost every business you see uses systems and automation and all of this stuff, and it sounds really complicated, but we're going to break it down and I'll build it with you so that you can have something that you can use forever in a way that'll save you time and money and allow you to have way more confidence, not in just what you're doing today, but in what the next month can look like and the next year can look like. And when you start planning a month in advance, 6 months in advance, a year in advance, you really stop caring about the day-to-day. The honest truth is, I've gotten people, for instance, in my program right now, there's somebody named Ian, and Ian was day trading about 4 to 6 hours a day, spending a couple $100 a day. By week 6 or 7, he got down to 90 minutes a week and several $1,000s a day. He actually got so advanced in what he was doing and it became so easy for him that I recommended another thing of learning that he could do, and he then took his free time and got good at email and web design while going through this program, because he had that much extra time on his hands and he was making that much extra money doing something that really anybody could do. There's nothing special. I mean, he was taking pictures with his own phone. He's in the women's jewelry biz, and made to order jewelry for women, and it's a guy that lives by himself taking pictures, holding the stuff himself. There is no barrier to success. You can absolutely do this, and now he's at the point where he's spending thousands a day. And he spends maybe 2-3 hours a week, absolutely tops, actually working on Facebook. And his business is more and more successful than it's ever been. Documentation is absolutely key. I have another student that's going through, and the program is wrapping up this week, the summer semester. And his name is Emmanuel, and he runs an agency. And he was trying to figure out, how does he get 20 people on his team to all understand everything that's going on? And there was so much back and forth with emails. And any decision might have taken a day or a week to get done. So we implemented things outside of the reporting. We implemented optimization logs, and we implemented charting out the automation and documenting where all of the ads were, what we call active ad stock and automation documents, and all of this stuff that honestly didn't take that long. It's just somebody showing you that, yes, it's important. Here's how you do it. Here's the templates. You can literally copy and paste. Plus, there's like a half an hour to hour-long videos of me walking you through how I set it up. Then we have one-on-one time so I can set it up with you and answer all of the other questions that you have. And from that, he was able to take the turnaround time on solving problems from a week to a couple of hours, because no longer was it required for one person to have to communicate with anybody else on the team unless there was absolute clarity that was needed. And what he did for 4th of July is informing what he's doing for back to school. The wins and the losses, it doesn't have to be that somebody remembered it. It's literally documented down on a sheet of paper that everybody in the business, including the client, can see. Which means the client's not bothering him all the time. So he's saving hours a week on email. He's saving days of his week in the inability to take action, and the actions he's taking are a lot better. So this is a nice little summary of what this whole thing is. It's not just me helping you build an ad account that looks good on Facebook. It's me helping you understand how Facebook works so you can set up a business that succeeds. Ultimately, this is business development, project management. And Facebook becomes something that's so easy, you barely ever take a look at it, other than to do the actions that you know you have to do when you know that you have to do it. And the results of every action you take, you know what the next 2 steps are. If you're always 2 steps ahead, you can take a week off. You want to go on vacation because you made a lot of extra money this week? Go for it. You can manage the whole thing from a cell phone. I mean, I quite literally right now on my phone have 3 accounts where I'm making good money from all of them. And they're seeing excellent results. And I have to open my laptop for about 15 minutes a day. They're happy. I'm happy. Their customers are happy. And their finance department is really happy. So anyway, that's what this is all about. It is not just me showing you how to run Facebook ads. It's me giving you the tools so that you can have confidence and success, so that you can spend more time with your family and put more money in your pocket. That's really what this is about. Anybody can show you how they won. Very few people can show you how they made dozens of people win, and how each one of those solutions was vitally different, and what they all had in common, and then teach you every one of those things, plus take the time to make sure that you don't leave a phone call with a question, and that you leave every single week smarter, more successful, more confident, and less stressed than the week before. The next 9 weeks could fundamentally change the rest of your life. And that's something that you're interested in, let me know. And with that, well, I'm taking a little walk here and I'm going to enjoy it. I have to go back to LA tomorrow. You don't usually get all of these trees in Los Angeles, so I'm going to enjoy all of that. And, I see Luca has a question. Is there an app that does that when we're talking about landing page split testing? There's a lot of things. DM me. I'll help you out with that. There are high-ticket solutions. There are free solutions. Yeah. So anyway, with that being said, I wish you all the best. Take care of yourself. And remember, you are literally one DM away from confidence, from success. You can change your life today. All right. See you guys later. Bye.